Hey, what's up guys? It's ArodDrumm3r here. In this video today, I'm going to be getting to show you guys the brand new Evans drum heads that I get to put on this amazing Pearl Export Series kit. This kit I've had for around 4 years. It's about to be 4 years now, and since the day I got it, I've been using the same stock heads that came with the set. So I'm finally going to get to put on brand new drum heads, and in this video I just wanted to show you guys what I listen for when I tune, the way I tune, and just give you a little demonstration of what the new heads are going to sound like. So let's get started. So before we start this video, I wanted to show you guys why I got new drum heads. Last night I was practicing my songs for a performance that I have tomorrow, and my snare drum decided to pop on me. I don't know if you guys can see this right here, but it ripped, and yeah, I was kind of upset, but I knew that it was time to get some new drum heads anyway, so this was kind of like a, hey, you need to get new drum heads. So yeah, I'll be replacing these today. Here's the rim. Go ahead and set that right here. And here is the drum head. Here's where it ripped. Right there, if y'all can see that. And since we won't be needing this anymore, what I like to do when I'm changing my drum heads or when I'm retuning them, I like to get a cloth and just go around the outside of the shell and the inside, make sure there's no dust on it to mess with the tone or any sound of the new head that's gonna come on. That should be good. And set that here, and then we're gonna take our new drum head. This is the Evans HD Drive 14-inch. I got this from Guitar Center in Corpus. The guy that was there to help was really helpful in knowing what I wanted and the sound that I wanted, and he pointed me to this, and it looks just amazing. If y'all can see that, it looks awesome. They have these little breathing holes. I don't know if they're really little, so if you guys can see it, I'll show you a closer shot in a minute. But basically, this head is very durable for high hitters or hard hitters like myself, and it's very easily tuned to a higher tension, which I really enjoy the sound. So when I'm putting on a new drum head, usually what I like to do is I like to line up the logo of the head with the badge of the drum right here. So I'm just gonna do that real quick. Make sure it's on there nice and perfect. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the rim and try not to drop these tension rods like I just did. I'll put these back. Alright, now I'm gonna set the rim on very gently on top of the drum head. Make sure not to mess up the alignment of the logo with the badge. And I'm just gonna put in the tension rods into the little holders that are on the shell of the drum. So now that I got the rim on, the head on, aligned where I want it, I'm just gonna go ahead and finger tight all the way around until I can't do it anymore. So cue the time lapse. Okay, so now that we got the head on there and the tension rods all finger tight all the way around, it's now time to take your tuning key and I like to do it in a star pattern. So if you start on top, the tension rod opposite of the one you just tightened is the next one. So what that does is it keeps you from basically tightening too much of one side of the head at once. So it keeps the tension even between all the tension rods at all times, so you don't warp the head. So now you can hear that's like really ringy and low, because it's nowhere near as tight as we want it yet. But just keep doing that star pattern a couple times, and eventually you'll get to that snare sound that you want. So once you've done the star pattern across the head a couple times, you're gonna start hearing the snares from the bottom head start to resonate at the top a lot more. So what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to hit the drum and see what it sounds like. So already for me, that's a pretty nice and crisp attack sound that I'm looking for. I usually I tune my snares like really tight and high to get that more of that crack sound when I hit a rim shot, but it's all personal preference. That's just what I like. You may like something different. You may like a lower sound for your snare. It honestly depends on most of the genre of music you play and where you're recording or performing. So now that I have the sound that I'm looking for and it's genuinely close but it's not there yet, I'm gonna turn off the snares here and I'm gonna go around with the stick, or you can use your finger. I'm gonna go around with the stick to each tension rod, and I'm just gonna hear the tone and just basically try to match each tension rod up from there. So yeah. So already that's sounding pretty even to me. I don't know what it sounded like for you guys there, but that sounds pretty even to me. But honestly, this head can go a lot tighter, and the sound that I'm looking for is a lot more punchier, and it's a lot more attack-ish. Like, it has a lot more crisp to it. So I'm gonna do a little more turns on mine, and I'll see you in a bit. So that's more of around where I like my snare. I like to do my snare a lot higher than any of my other drums because I play a lot of rock music, and usually that requires a lot of like that sound. So I think that this is fine for now. If I need to touch up on it later, I will, but let's move on to the toms. So again, same thing with the cloth. I'm just gonna go around the edge of the shell. Make sure to go around this mounting system here. I'm just gonna make sure that there's no dust or just anything that can mess with the tone of the sound that we're looking for out of these new heads, because drum heads are not, and I repeat, not cheap, and they're very valuable, and I would hate for something as little as dust to ruin the sound that you are trying to create for your viewers and for your audience. So once you've gotten that taken care of, you can go ahead and grab your head to start laying it on. I got the EC2's clear standard pack. This is from Evans. These are quite honestly some of the most popular heads that I've been seeing out on the market, and when I went to Guitar Center, this is the pack that the guy recommended, and I was like, okay, well, that's a sign. These are the heads. These are the 3 heads inside right there. Let me take this off real quick. There you go. So this is the 12-inch head that we will be using. I'm gonna set this on here just for now, and I'll put these to the side. Ugh, right there. So as you can see, compared to the other head that I've been using for a while, this is nice and pretty, nice and non beaten up. But I'm gonna go ahead and put this on like I did the snare drum, and I'm gonna finger tight all of the tension rods around it, and I'll come back to you whenever I got all that done. Alright, so I got the head on, it's all finger tight, it hasn't been touched yet. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing we did with the snare. I'm going to take the tuning key and I'm just going to go in the start pattern again. So the top one, the bottom one, top one, bottom one, side, side. So I'm going to do a full turn. And usually when I'm tuning my toms, I generally like to go for that lower end kind of rock sound that I'm looking for. I like my toms to go from 1, 2, 3 and go dooga dooga dooga. So doom doom doom. Like, so from high to low, I like it to have that kind of like that, not too much, but that space in between each drum. Get another full turn. Or maybe a half turn. And if you're new to this tuning stuff with your drums and you're looking at this video, you may hear some cracking noises whenever you're turning the tension rods. Don't worry, your head's not breaking, it's just stretching it out a little more. But you don't want to go too tight because obviously then the head will rip. Alright, so here's what it sounds like. That sounds pretty good to me. I'm gonna go around with my finger and just check to see the different tones between each tension rod, but I'll let you know if I change anything else. Alright, now that you've gotten the top head to sound like what you want, it's time to flip it over to the bottom side. And you don't have to change these heads. I'm not changing these heads. I'm still using the stock heads because obviously they don't get hit. So I mean, there's really nothing to replace as much, but you still have to check the tuning. You have to keep it balanced between the top head because you'll have a really nice sound on top, but then on the bottom it won't be as pretty. So you have to make sure that there's an even balance between both top and bottom heads. So I'm gonna make sure. I don't know if you guys can hear that. So my top head, which is on the bottom of the drum right now, is actually a lot higher than the bottom head. And that's not the case that I'm really like going for, so I'm gonna have to tighten it a little more. Just gonna give it a full turn just to get it to the same pitch that the top head is on. So by doing that to the bottom head, it made a huge difference in sound of what I want at the top. That's really high for the sound that I'm going for. So I'm gonna have to adjust the top. Just a little bit, so I'm not getting that sound that's really high, that really high pitch. That's a pretty good sound. I usually go for a lower tone, but I might experiment with these and go a little bit higher, but we'll see. Let me go a little lower, just a little bit. That's a really nice sound for what I'm looking for right now, and I haven't even checked all the tension rods. So I'm gonna check all the tension rods, and then I'm gonna move on to rack tom number 2. So I just finished putting on all these drum heads successfully. They just sound absolutely amazing. Evans did a really good job with this line of heads, and I really can't wait to play. I really can't wait to play them tomorrow for the performance at the festival downtown. A little bit behind the things that are on top of my drums, as you saw in the previous clip. These are called Remo O-rings. They're to control overtones and to keep your toms from ringing so much. I really don't like the doom sound. I like a nice punchy doom or doom 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 instead of do do do. Like too many overtones, and these rings are supposed to get rid of them, and they do a really good job of that. So yeah, that's basically how I tune my drums. That's basically how I put on the heads, and like I said, by no means is this the only way to do this. By no means am I a professional at doing this. This is just how I do it and what I like to hear from my drums. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna play on the drums for you. Hopefully it comes out good through the phone camera, and because I know they sound amazing in person. So yeah, I'm just gonna play for you guys, and I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did, please be sure to subscribe and like, and also go follow me on Instagram and Twitter, because I do post a lot on there too. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.